let's try that again with the level set. Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Friday morning. It is a little bit past 11 a.m. and that can only mean that it is time for some Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. Let's see if I can drop the music back just a little bit. Right about there. Okay, I think that's a good compromise. Welcome to Friday, everybody. Coffee this morning, but so many cool things happening today. You know, I really got to go over and get myself set up with some ale because I'm out, and that's unacceptable. Yeah, so at some point I'm going to have to go over. Probably Saturday I might go grab that. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a lot of things happening. So Monday night, Kachi and Mrs. Thunderhand will be on a plane on their way to Taiwan. I'll be staying here. That's my opportunity. I've got 1 month to do everything I need to do before they get back, so... But today's Kachi's last day of the school year, and so we're super excited. I can't wait to go pick him up today. I think I'll still be able to raid out. OPG might be. I know he's streaming right now, or he was the last time I looked. Boa Cars is streaming too, so we've got a couple of people to whom we can raid out. I'm messing with my cable right now. And so I'll probably still do the raid. If I possibly can. Yeah, I'll mess with this later. Yeah, let's get logged into the server. I think Flying Villager's in there right now, so let's go check that out. See what's happening there. Display scene. There we go. Straighten out our camera. Let's try to get the mic a little bit out of the shot here. Well, I guess that's as good as we're going to do. Just let me know if you can hear the audio well enough. Let's log on in. Yes, and we're back at this place, people, although significant portions have been worked upon. I think we're past the halfway point. What are you doing there, sir? Can I hit him with a bow from here? I mean, that would be quite the shot. Nice. Although he fell into the water, he's still alive up there. But not for long. But, so, let's get to the top of this feature here. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's not be overzealous with our dismount. Okay, so I've been clearing this out strip by strip by strip by strip all the way down. That's the way in which I've been progressing. It's been tediously slow because you can see we have these pockets of water here in these flooded caves. So it's a combination of mining and draining and draining and mining. And it's extremely tedious. We have a lot of the water has been taken away, though. So this is the main area that had a lot of water. This now, down in this area, looks to be mostly mining here now. I'm not really sure what's under here as far as water pockets are. I know there's a trench over in this corner, a ravine, flooded ravine. This might be the terminus of that. I don't know. It could extend over into here. We'll see. But today we'll work on removing this strip here. Hopefully by the end of the stream, I can get an entire strip done. I've become a little more efficient with this process over the last few days, but it's still a very slow process. And then the idea is once this is complete, I'll extend the body of our giant down through here to this level. This will be all black concrete, and it will grade up to a lighter block textures at the top. So the hole looks deeper than it actually is. That's the idea. Because you're going to be... Let's go topside. Let's replenish our hunger. Like that first. Is Villager AFK right now? Yeah, he is. That's why he hasn't seen us. We should totally go over and troll him, but we're really, really busy right now. Okay, here we go. Come on, fly for me. Come on, it's just 2 spacebar hits. You can do it. All right, let's go into F5 then so we can see. Come on, open the wings. I was just going to show you. There we go. Okay. So I've been practicing my taking to the air from water. And I thought I was going to nail that the first time, and of course, no, because I'm on stream. So the idea is, if you're above the surface, and we look down and we have the hole dug, the hole is covered right now. But since you're looking through the water, if we only bring that down to 0 and we have a grade and some black concrete, it's going to look like the hole goes into a deep, dark abyss. It's going to look darker than it really is. That's the point. And so we don't have to do quite so much work like digging down to bedrock and then to the void and all that. Oh my God, no. Right, so this is already taking way too long. So I just want to check something really quickly. There we go. See, right up out of the water, just like that. And I'll check chat in just a moment here. But then once our statue is done, we can finally do some work on our very sorry-looking island here. What do you know? Anyways, so yeah, that's where we're at with this. We could dig a not so deep hole here, and just with some black concrete and some gradients, you know, we can make the hole look a lot deeper than it really is. So, and cut down our work quite a bit. And the idea of cutting down the work is to save the time. That's what we're really trying to do here. Like, we don't have time for these guys. No time left for you. On my way to better things. Come on. I've got a god bow, for God's sake. There we go. Okay, hey, welcome on in, Lone Star. I saw you there. I was just waiting for a break in the dialogue. How you doing there, laddie? How are you doing today on this Friday? You should see the auto shout-out up there for Lone Star, fellow buffoon. Please check him out when you get the chance. What's the game you've been streaming with Cheska and company lately, where you're in the automobiles and you're doing the race? Because that is absolutely hilarious. The banter between you guys during that is just, it's side-splitting. It really is. I'm good. How are you? I am doing excellent. Family's about to go on a trip. Kachi's in his last day of the school year today. Couldn't be better right now. Thanks. Well, I could be a little bit better if I had some Guinness or Bellhaven or something like that. That's the only way I could be better. And that's minor. That's like a first world problem. Okay, we need to section off and fill in some of this channel here. First as step 1, so let's get some sand in place there. Yeah, so Lone, what is that automotive game that you're playing with, you've been playing with Cheska and your friends there? lately because that is super funny. So let's block off that part. And maybe this part too. Let's kill these water sources to there. And then I think this might be just mining. Well, let's take a look. I think I can just mine like straight across this, and I might not have to fill this. Wreckfest. Okay. Yeah, the dialogue amongst you guys while you're playing that is just... so funny and fun. Yeah, you guys really come across... That really comes across when you guys are playing that. Just hearing you guys troll each other through that game is hilarious. Especially when Cheska drives the wrong way around there. Yes. Oh, I have some moderation that needs to be done here. Yeah. Bye-bye. Already they're among us. They're upon us, the solicitors. Okay, so we've got a little bit going on here that needs... with the... Yeah, this is going to need to be filled in here. Okay, yeah, that's just that. Updating good. That's going to need to be filled in, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Or maybe it is. Okay. Right. You know, part of the thing that makes this process slow, but what you absolutely have to do is you got to think ahead here. I have to, while I'm filling this in, how much do I need to fill? How much can I get away without filling? How is it going to affect the next row when I start on that? So... And here, it's not just a matter of like trying to save the sand, because I have tons of sand. I'm good as far as sand and gravel. So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to save the time by filling as little as possible, right? So, yeah, so you know what? I think for the moment I can leave that there. I can fill that, and I can just proceed across like this. Thusly. Like this, and... like I said, when I get down to this southern end here, a lot of this is just mining. There's not really a lot of water down here, or there hasn't been up until this point. So there's Cheska. So you admit you like it. What do you mean admit? Why does there have to be a confession involved? Of course I like it. You guys, how many times do I have to tell you? I am not Fred Rogers. I am not Bob Ross. I am not those people. I think Nova's just learned that recently. There's Dora. Oh, you know what I have to do, Cheska? Is since you've updated your streaming name, I have to update that in the auto shoutouts. So yeah. So please go check out Cheska whenever you get a chance. I need to update the auto shout out there. I guess I can just do the manual. I haven't had to do a manual shout out in so long. Hopefully it still works. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, capital D, lowercase b, capital E, like that. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right. And of course, you can see the auto shout out there for Dora, who has not changed her stream name. And therefore, the auto shout out still works. But yeah, we need to update that. You guys are something else. You really are. You know, and I think it's the nature of that kind of game, too. The Wreckfest game. Those kind of games that make that kind of banter a little bit easier to pull off. Like in Buffooncraft, we try to do a little bit of that, but it's the, like I'm down here building by myself on an SMP, which is like, you know, it's not ideal, but it's the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? So Buffooncraft, we get a little bit less of that, but only because, you know, it's the nature of the game. It's for that reason I'm thinking on these next seasons to kind of move away from these bigger builds like this and to do smaller, quicker builds so there's more interaction with the other buffoons. And therefore we get a little bit more of that fun stuff in here. Oh, we've got some filling we need to do here. All of this needs to be filled in. Because when we do get together, we do get a little bit of that stuff going. And it's pretty darn funny. Because buffoons be some funny folks, I'll tell you that. Hawk. Hawk. Yeah, see, we've got quite a bit to fill there, but we'll cross that when we come to it. Right now, we'll just box it in like that. Okay, and here we need one more layer of stone. Hawk. All right, done. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is good. This will work. All right, and then we can come into here like this, and we'll just remove this stuff. So if I manage this properly, might change it now. I've got ideas brewing. Oh, now see, that's what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. But, you know, I know I'm known for the bigger kinds of builds with their intricacy and stuff like that, but I'm thinking, you know, since I have generations, there's Villager, he's woken up. Some of you who have seen the first Dune movie might get that reference. But yeah, since I have the other stream Generations, I have my own solo server, I might save like the really big spectacular builds for that. And then, you know, just build quick and dirty on Buffooncraft. It still do cool builds, but Buffooncraft, I might do things more like, instead of a big base, I might keep my base really small like I did in Season 5. Season 5, I just lived out of the pub, which is been a lifelong dream of mine. But, yeah, and just focus on really cool farms and public builds. Like, I really enjoyed doing, like, the infrastructure in the Drost shopping district. That was a lot of fun. And, you know, so I'm thinking maybe in these seasons of Buffooncraft, these upcoming seasons, maybe I'll do something like that. That might be the way to go for that. But hey, Lone, if you're still there, Um, Now, Kachi's been too busy to watch the streams or the stream VODs. Well, he can't watch the streams because he doesn't have a Twitch account. But he's been too busy to watch the stream VODs. So I don't mind kind of hinting at it here a little bit. But Kachi and I will go to see Iron Maiden play here in Los Angeles in September. So now his birthday is until the 22nd of July. So I won't reveal it to him until that time. But tickets are already bought and paid for. He is going to absolutely lose his crap when he finds out. Yeah, that's going to be so cool. He's going to enjoy that so much. All right, let's plan out these sections. Now, sure, Nico's not going to be with them because he's retired now, but still going to be a cool concert. But I took my daughter when she was 11. Oh, so lucky. You know, of all of the acts I've seen live, and, you know, I've never gotten a chance to see Iron Maiden live. You know, I've seen incredible bands play live throughout my years, and I never got to see them. So this is going to be fun for me. This will be a little wish fulfillment there. There's Villager. I mean, as far as bases go, just do what you feel inspired by. It doesn't have to be huge. It's not a competition. Yeah, I get you, Villager. You know, but the thing is, when I do what I want to do, and I do what I feel inspired by, I bite off way more than I can chew. And I always wind up with these unfinished bases like Buffooncraft 2, which I'm severely disappointed in myself for that. So I would rather not do that and rather put the brakes on myself and just lighter, faster building with really cool farms and more Buffoon interaction. I think that's what I'm going to focus on. And I still get the big, spectacular builds. I still get to scratch that itch in Generations. And I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how that works out. Alone with the trolling. I mean, neither, but it's the Buffooncraft way. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, right? Some of you can build really, really fast. You know, so Shut Mountain will come in here at the beginning of the season and just build a huge, incredible, spectacular base, and then he's done, right? You know, same, you know, Nova can come in here and in a day, you know, or a couple of days, you know, you see that, all of that stuff over there. You guys build extremely fast. I don't build fast enough for that. But Generations, the pace is slower for that. So I think that's more suited to that kind of a server and that kind of stream. So I think I'm going to focus that over there. And here, it's just going to be quick and dirty stuff. Like I did, Season 5 was pretty satisfying. So, do you want mini yellow coral? No, I'm good, thanks. Like that. Okay, this is good. I can section off right here. And then I can dig that stuff out there. So I should be in good shape. Dora, I've got an amazing idea for my next build. I can't wait. Yeah, see, that's the other thing I want to try to do is I want to try to build with the other buffoons a little bit more. I think that would be a cool thing to do. Like, you know, build some really critical farms, like for public use really early on. You know, it's hard to do because again, you know, you got folks like Shut who come in and just build all the farms in one day, and then there's nothing for anybody else to build. But you know, if I could get like one farm, like a basic blueprint for one farm, like a tree farm, wherein you know you can also farm mangrove. You know, that's been something I've been meaning to do for quite some time, ever since season 4, where Nebs and I went at that, and I'm not satisfied with that. I think I can do better than that, and so I think something like that would be a little bit better. You didn't get enough of that with no. No comment. My comment to that is, have you seen a Sphinx lately? That's what that is. Oh, spicy. No, doing some more. Like, I'd really like to build something with OPG. And you builders who are like really colorful, decorative builders, because I'm not good at that. And so the more I build with you guys, like, you know, sadly, Nebula's not on as much as she would like to be lately, but Nova, yourself, Villager, folks like you, Dora, who are OPG, you're very colorful builders. And so I think I need a little bit more inspiration there. And so if I could build with you guys and learn a little bit more about that, that would be a good Buffooncraft goal. Ask Lone Hino. Ooh, spicy. Okay, now see, Lone Star is getting on board with the deep slate and lava stuff, which is good. Which is good. One must be able to laugh at oneself. Like Thunderhand can build the greatest trade hall ever, but you won't get to use it until the day before the end of the season. What good is it? Okay, so that's all dug out. All right, and that's good enough for that. I think I can just go along and mine this strip here. I suppose I should come in and fill in a little bit of this while I'm at it. Every time he comes to my base, he complains about how bland it is. See, I miss having you guys around. I really do. It's lonely in here, you know what I mean? Thunder, I still don't have a house or storage room set up. It has been over a year. Neither do I. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to finish this up. Can I at least have my little house on the hill before the end of the season? And also, I have no storage system. I have a bunch of barrels with labels on them. I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's bring this down. Let's do that. Let's get the borders on. And I still think, you know, if I build fast and light like that and I focus on cool looking farms and infrastructure for, you know, the community and stuff like that, I still think I can get my build style in there. And I can still do some of the mathy stuff and some of the things I'm more maybe infamous for. I think I can still do that. So I think at towards the end of any current season, going into the next season, the upcoming season, I think one of the things I should do is have some like insane farm ready in the creative mode. And so that way I can just day one, you know, make it out of, at least initially, out of, you know, early game materials and stuff, so I can just hit the ground running. You know, and so instead of focusing so much on a base, I can instead focus on a farm or something like that. I think that's a better way to go. I could be entirely wrong with that and just go back to building these huge bases and stuff, but historically I haven't been too good at that, so. Yeah, I'm at ground level over here. Okay, this is good. Believe me, you do not want to end up down in those cave areas down there. That's not a happy place down there. It's not. That place has a lot of red zeros. Let's see. Labels, you're funny. You think I label everything in my base. Close compared to S5, Season 5. Yeah. But you could beat most people to the punch is auto-crafting ecosystem for a large sequence of farms that all work together to make... Oh, kind of like when the... occasionally the buffoons, like especially Impulse. Well, sometimes Bumbo does this too, where he does a industrial district kind of thing, and he just loads those chunks with all of his farms. Kind of like that. And again, you know, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Buffooncraft, it's not like I'm trying to compete with the other buffoons. It's just like I'm just trying to get a chance to build something because I build so slow. So that's what Villager means by, you know, beating them to the punch. It's not really like a competitive thing. It's just buffoons build really fast and I don't. So I often don't get to build things because I'm so slow. So I'm trying to figure out a strategy where I can get something built, especially in the way of farms. And I think that's especially critical in something like an event like Buffoon Skies, because, you know, you wind up with 10 iron farms, 10 mob farms, and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's structured system using autocrafters to expedite the process to make things like dispensers, pistons automatically store. Yeah. You know, I've thought about that for a long time, and I've thought about putting something together like that in Generations. But then Generations, I decided I liked the aesthetic and the interaction of breaking up the farms to go to certain islands and that. So I went that way with Generations, but Buffooncraft, you know, that might be a way to go. That might be a way to go with Buffooncraft. And then focus on some like really wacky, crazy farm. You know, like my ghast farm in season 5, which I was particularly proud of that one. And then the iron farm here and the trade hall here. I really like the trade hall here. I think that's one of my better builds. So doing something like that would be kind of cool. Doing that kind of stuff. And there would be maybe a better plan. After you build all the farms and crafters and storage, you just build a giant box around them for several with connecting water streams. Maybe, yeah. Kind of just treat that as my base. Or, you know, I could make a tradition in Buffooncraft about just having the pub be my base, like I did in Season 5. I could just make that a Buffooncraft tradition. Still do the farms district like you're talking about, but as far as having my place to live, just in Buffooncraft, it's always going to be the pub. Yeah, that's always been my goal, and I've always failed at that. You know, to just make some initial thing at first, and then to slowly upgrade it throughout the season. Emphasis on the word slowly, whether I like it or not. How long is it usually before the start of the next season? I see. Make the admins do all the work for you. Dora, that varies a lot. Like this season has been a particularly long season. So that's really hard to say. I think you'd have to talk to Villager and Nova about that. I think this is the first season that has gone more than a year, though. Am I correct? Legacy Buffoons, am I correct? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think we're coming up on 2 years on this, right? Doria is asking about the gaps in the seasons. Oh, after this one ends. Yeah, you're right. Again, that also kind of, yeah, thanks, Lon. That also kind of varies too, right? It depends on what their plans for the season are, how long it takes them to set things up as far as like making the village of Drost and getting the lore set and all of that. So again, you know, I don't think I can answer that. I think that's more Villager, but you're probably asking Villager that, not me. So like jumping straight into the let's see. Dora, at this point, the longest season This is the longest season, so the end is looking like around the end of the year. We'll evaluate where everyone is. Nothing concrete, but that's the rough. Okay. Yeah, okay. And I'm sure it just depends on what Nova and Villager have planned for the next season. And some of the things that we're requesting, the buffoons are requesting. And then how long does it take them to prepare for that, right? So sometimes it's easy to prepare for that. It's easier. Sometimes it's harder. It takes more time to set things up. Especially when Nova or Villager, you know, they find a new technology, like a new mod or something like that. And it's like, okay, we have to wait till the next update in order to use this. And yeah, there's a lot of variables. There is? No, there are. There are. There are a lot of variables. Also, there's recruitment considerations too. New buffoons being added and stuff like that. So I don't think that really affects, though, the start dates and stuff for the season, though. There he is. The one and only Lone Star. Hey there, buddy. Fuck. Blasting away some of this stuff. Let's see. What the heck? I think I'll start planning on my new stuff in creative. Yeah. There are a lot of variables, but it's kind of 3 ways between. Oh, yeah. Okay. I understood why they blocked you 3 ways. Okay, Automod. Okay. There's Waylander Tone. Hey, welcome on in, Tone. Appreciate the lurk. Feel free to lurk away. Yeah, the stuff here is mostly mining for these sections, so it's just a little more satisfying to clear this stuff out first before we start with all the sponges and everything in the other location. The other end of... Ooh! Yeah, see, there is where the creeper's actually helpful. Ah! So you can see the auto shout-out up there for the one and only Waylander Tone. Yeah, so I might start thinking about, I have a couple of ideas for farms and stuff like that. So I might think about putting something together in creative. getting that all ready to go. When we start the season, especially if I'm doing stuff like the hand and the giant, the sea giant up above me there, where we're you know, I can get the schematics printed out and I can get the Affinity Designer registration file created and stuff, and I can get as much of that stuff done ahead of time. So again, you know, I can just hit the ground running. Oh yeah, I don't want that yet. Not yet. Not yet. I need this to stay intact right up through here. There. Okay. That's good. Let's get some nourishment. But, you know, in SMP, to me, you know, the point of the SMP is to interact with the other players. You know, because if I'm just here building by myself, I mean, I can do that on Generations. I don't have to do that here. I've got ideas for bases next season, but they're mega bases mostly, and I think I want to push away from that. This season has been the best I've had with burnout and getting stuck. I can always add to it instead of constantly fighting resources to grind, losing my place, wanting to change a build, etc. Yeah, that's been my goal since I think I started to think in that way at the end of season 4 and season 5, and throughout season 5, is just to build in a modular kind of way, so it never gets to the point of looking like it's not finished. So you just build a main component, and then you build another component, and they all fit together. And that way, if you have to stop at some point, it doesn't look like it's unfinished, right? That's my goal. I don't think I've achieved that in either season 5 or so far here in season 6. I think my modules to my base have been too big. But I've also been letting myself get sidetracked. Like, I really enjoyed getting sidetracked with the shopping district infrastructure. I really liked doing that. That was fun. And the Christmas build, I went really ambitious with that. Like trying to make my void build. That was trying to learn how to do that and stuff was, go on, do some mining for me. Thank you. Oh, but then I have these guys. All right. Well, it just so happens, dude, that I'm armed and dangerous. All right, I'm about to break this netherite pickaxe, which is something I really don't want to do because it's expensive. Swap out our tools. In fact, I should just keep the tools to shulker in my inventory, but then that leaves me less inventory space, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But I think we're fine. Also, if I die, I lose all my tools. It's not very dangerous down here, but it can happen. Come on, just grab the shulker, please. Thank you. There we go with right there. Good. And I will take that ender chest. Thank you very much. Good. I'm just thinking, you know, with all I've learned about build management, that if I think I still build slowly now, I must have been glacially slow, like when I first started streaming back in like 2020. Oh my God, I must have built slow back then. Like, there's just these little things I've learned from the buffoons. Like just having a shulker full of tools like that and just switching out the tools as I build. Yeah, that's a Nova and Chris thing that I learned. I'm not saying you other buffoons haven't done that, but that's... And that's one of those things you know about. You see other builders doing it, and you just don't do it, and you think, you know, I really need to start doing that stuff. Why am I not doing that? It's dumb. I got to do that. There's also the problem with mega bases is they're a slog to do the interiors. Yeah. It's like, okay, I've got the shell, I've got the shape and stuff that I want, but man, now I got to fill this thing in, right? So the other thing is, you know, I don't have to indulge every idea I have during the season in the current season. You know, I can just log the idea and do it next season. I don't have to do everything this season that I think of this season. Come on. Come on. And kill the spider for me. Thank you. Nicely done. I love using them against each other. Look at that guy down there. All right, now we're getting down into the deep slatey stuff. All right. Let's deal with you and your issues. Wow. All right, but let's use this guy to do some mining. Thank you. Thinks he's gonna get all up in my business. Oh, and here we go with this guy. My current base, the entire build is livable and comfortable instead of strictly linear, getting from point to point. Yes. Oh, linear. Yeah. I think interiors and yeah. See, that's why folks like us need to team up with folks like Dora. You know, we'll build the shell, and then let's have her do all the decorating on the inside. Oh, really, you guys? All right, as much as I don't want to do lighting because lighting makes things kind of difficult, I think we're losing time because we're dealing with mobos. So, yeah, I know I'm just going to carve this down afterwards, but that's the idea. I don't want to leave the lighting up there on these walls because I have to then deal with it afterwards when I'm placing sand, and that sucks. Okay, let's do that. Whoa. All right. Just bite the bullet and get it done. Okay. I'm filling stuff I'm just going to have to mine out after, but whatever. And just whenever we hit one of those torches and remove it like that, just replace it. It's just faster to do it that way. Yeah, see, we've got some red here now, but we can just do that and just place and remove, just as we go along. Like that, that's fine. It only takes a fraction of a second to do that, right? Let's get that in place. There we go. what level am I on? I'm still on level 6, I think. All right, so this stuff needs some filling. No, 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 not with the diorite. Yeah, we just need a little of this, that's all. Okay? Just... All right, yeah, this is fine. Okay, this'll do. What am I doing down there? I'm good. I'm 6, 5, 4, like this. Okay. And then we're good here. I am thinking, though, that this would help us not lose time changing tools if I just did this and just filled it with stone, because it's only a little bit. Like this stuff, I can probably reach that lower level from here, right? So I should probably just fill this with stone. That way I won't have to swap out tools. All right, did I pick up that copper? Yes, I did. Did I pick up that copper? No, I didn't. Let's... There we go. So I am saving some of these materials. Any of the copper I grab, I'm trying to save that. I found a lot of diamonds down here, believe it or not, especially the stone ore diamonds. So we'll be dropping by Nebula's post office box with those a little bit later, because she likes those. And I always save those for her. Even when she's not on the server. Let's get caught up in the chat here. Maybe it's less build modular, more build practical. Unless it's practical to build modular. We're in survival, so you have to build with the idea that you need to use the base. Yeah. Not just flying around. Yeah. Pictures and nothing else. You have to navigate these from every single angle. You have to fight mobs, blow up creepers, find places. And yeah. I find myself returning to doing an underwater base next season. You can have it. After season 4 and dealing with this, kind of feel like I've had my fill of working underwater. It's your turn to do that now. I will hand that off to you, no pun intended. But as far, yeah, like what's the point in building a base if it takes you all season to do it and you can't use it, right? That's another thing that I'm thinking about. You know, I'm just not good enough to get a base established like that at season 1 and just, I wouldn't say good enough, but I just haven't figured out a satisfying way enough to do that. I mean, I am in season 6 here, so I must be good enough to hang around, but you know, just to try to figure out a satisfying way to do that, you know. Because, you know, building a base and then not even getting to use it until the end of the season, that's not very satisfying. That sucks. Well, my approach will be make my own ocean. You know, I laugh not critically, villager. I laugh because I can totally see you doing that. You know, after the season 4 end build with the frickin' planets and stuff in it and everything, I'm like, yeah, villager gonna build his own ocean. Sure, okay. Buffoon gonna build his own ocean. Hey, you guys, I was thinking this just before I logged on, because I was thinking of Voxy and Bobby and, you know, those distance rendering mods. And I was thinking, you know where the voxy is going to be particularly cool? Is in the end. If you think about it, right, if you can get it to load all those blocks out, you should be able to see past that 800 block ring. So you can see those surrounding islands. And you might be able to see the islands that have the end cities already on them. So if you can get yourself in a good location and get the chunks to load, I think it might make finding those a little bit easier. Unless I'm not understanding how those work. But now I should be able to just access these from below now, right? No. Remember the Thunder, that same season I made my own lake? Yes, that's right. If it's pre-rendered, yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking that might come in handy at the end, looking for the end cities. Because you'll just be able to see so many blocks away. No, not with the... So yeah, I'm trying to use stone here because it insta-mines, right? And I don't have to change tools. Where are you? Somebody shot an arrow at me. Ah, there he is. Whether it is nobler to suffer the slings and arrows. Oh, really? God, do I suck with a bow. Come on, man. Some torches down there occasionally. How am I doing for time here? Good Lord, I am so very far past. Time to run the ads. And if I didn't realize that, that's a good thing because number one, we're making good progress. We're getting things done. And number two, that means we're talking in the chat. We're having good discussion in chat. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, unless you're just joining the stream now and you're like, hey, ads should have been disabled, Thunder. That's up to Nova. I don't know how to do that, yeah. The building my own ocean lake idea gives me an excuse to build the flooding machines. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely want to see that. Okay, I'm going to take a brief 3-minute break and run some ads. After which, we will then resume our stream, our building and stuff. And ads will be disabled for people joining at that time, which is the whole purpose of doing that. So, 3 minutes, we will be right back. Okay, hey there, we're back. All right, let me just set up things here. Let's see what's happening. All right. Guess I can't do that anymore. Let's flip this up over to here. Let's put that like that. Do this like this. All the options, good. Fine with that. Okay, yeah, forgive me, I'm messing around with a couple of settings here. There we go. Okay, there was a parameter on my phone in the stream that I used to be able to check, and it's not there anymore. I guess Twitch changed that. Awk! Please. All right. Where am I at here? I'm removing this. Okay, and I think I'm at the point where I can just peel off these last two parts of this layer here, and I'm good. Wow, some of this is filled in down to this level. That's not exactly what I was expecting. Okay. All right, let's try to take this from here then. Yeah, see, some of this should already be hollowed out underneath, but maybe I didn't get this far over with this because this might have been like all previously flooded with water. I mean, I'm mining out this part, so this part wasn't flooded with water, but there we go. Trying to deal with some of that. Oh, there's Sage. Hey there. Sorry I didn't get to welcome you in. I was on break. And there he is. You can see the auto shout out there for the real foolish one himself. You know what? I need to restart the playlist. That's what I need to do. Please go check out fellow buffoon, real foolish Sage, when he is streaming next. All right, let's peel these off from above then, since we have more layers. Usually this layer below me is open, so I just peel off these layers from below, but that's not the case down at this end of things, so let's just proceed. There we go. Thusly. This has taken a little bit longer to mine out than I thought it would. I guess we are doing quite a bit of mining, but you know, I have been doing a lot of the blah, blah, blah too, which isn't a bad thing during a stream. You know, I mean, you got to talk to chat. I could be more productive with streams if I didn't have to interact with my viewers. You're missing the point. So, Sage, you do have the tree farms, plural, up and running? I think you built a large one and then a smaller one, right? Plural, yeah. Cool. At some point, I'm going to have to wing it on over there and have a look at those. Because, like we mentioned earlier, dark pale oak, yes. Because, and then non-mangrove multi-tree, yeah. I need to really pin down a design for one of those. And, you know, that should be my build for each season. Because that is a much needed farm, I think, by everybody. And if I could just blast one of those out early season, with, you know, like early game materials, just focus on that, you know, cobblestone, the basic stuff, and get that thing like high powered and up and running right from the get-go, I think that's a good way to go. Yeah. You know, it's one thing to build those farms, right? But then it's another thing to say, you know, can I make them so they're repeatable and I can build them quickly with early game materials? So that's where, you know, I usually redesign them. So I'll take a basic design like ENX4's design, and then I'll modify it to whatever our needs are in Buffooncraft, you know. But I think a lot of people do that, right? But that's the idea, is to get like to build one in creative and then just have it there for reference. So day one, I can just blast that thing right out. Good. I'm grabbing that copper. Yep. All right. You know, copper is a harder ore to come by than I normally think it should be. Like I found out in Generations that it's not worth building a drown farm to get copper. The drops are just too low. Mining copper is pretty good, like clearing out the trial chambers. That's a pretty good way to get some copper. But I guess the best way is to go to the caves, the dripstone caves, and mine it from there. I think there's a high distribution of copper in the dripstone caves. I think that's still true. Yeah. Okay, are we all set here? I think we are. I guess I could have taken that out, right? Now the thing of this stuff is, what I would usually do at this point is do something like this and just do that, but not a lot of this is actually sand. So I think I'm going to wind up mining a lot of this. Let's find out where the break is. I think the break is right about here. And then we'll go topside. We'll just mine out this strip. So if you're wondering why I haven't mined out this strip, this is what I was going for. So usually this is all, see how you get the sand and gravel? So after I drain this and mine it out, I'll just come by with a shovel and the torches and just take all of that out, and it just collapses, right? But yeah, I forgot. This part here is like all of this stuff. All right, let's fly up there. We'll take this stuff out. This is probably all mobbed with mobs. We're going to mine that out, so I think we're okay. We can just look at this from above like this. There we go. I think we can just go right on down the line with the tools. Just go carve this right out. There we go. Let's check the chat. How far are you going down? Down to 0. I think that's good enough, Dora. Sorry for the delayed response there. Yeah, I think that's good enough. I think that's far enough down where there's enough water above it to give the illusion of depth. So I think that'll do. Okay. Let's get rid of that. All right, there we go. All the way down to the wall. That's good. Off about 2 more and we'll just skim these all down. Again, I'm surprised that the mining is taking this long. Fuck! Thunder, please, please. If you could, well, let's do a little inventory management while we're down here. Bye-bye. 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 Okay, that should be good. Keep copper in there for right now. Yeah, there we go. The breaker's around the 60-minute mark. Okay. There we go. That's better. How far did I get before I fell? Did I drop off back here, or is it down here? I don't know. Praise the Minecraft gods for sneaky breaks. Okay, here we go. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas, people. All right, let me just finish this strip off here, and then I'll look over at the chat. Of course, some of you may recall that my older son had recently turned 21. I flew up to Seattle so we could have our first legal Guinness together. That was last week. He sent me a picture yesterday. Hey, Pa, my girlfriend and I, we went out to a club, and I ordered a Guinness. Look. I am a lucky dad, I'll tell you that. And they poured it wrong. I'm like, well, that's really more like a club or a sports bar, son. That's not really like a pub, so. It's sweeter than buttermilk, but stronger than tea. Whiskey, you're my darling, drunk or sober. Hey, do. We need some nourishment. Some golden carrots. Hawk. I was quoting lyrics, but not from that one, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the variant. That's the one I know. Whiskey, you're the devil. All of those songs borrow heavily from each other. I think I can get all three from down here from here on out. I just can refrain from tearing up the floor. Now we get into the messy bits where we have a lot of tool changing we have to do. Slows us down. Hawk. But I've said it before these last couple of streams that these are the best kinds of streams to do where I don't have to think so hard. Like Wednesday's Baby Zombie Rush stream was a cognitive struggle. And it shouldn't have been. I mean, I already had that T flip-flop situation worked out many times over. Wasted a lot of stream time reinventing the wheel. That's what that stream is like, man. You have to revisit that each time you do it. But that looks like it's going to be changing. I mean, Kachi has been expressing less and less interest in streaming Kachi time lately. And so I might take that time slot and I might do Generations Wednesday and Generations Sunday. And so I might be working on Baby Zombie Rush weekly from here on out. And the same with Generation 5. So I might do that. And then I'll just switch it up when Kachi feels like streaming. So I'll take it that way. So the default will be Generations, and then the exception will be Kachi time. All right, let's get some sponges. Let's do the spongy bits. Let's do that. Let's do that. Drink it up, men! I like having Guinness in. I have a pint once in a while. Boost my iron levels. Yeah, you chicks have to deal with the iron levels, don't you? My tradition after having a baby is now a rare steak with a pint of... My kind of gal, Dora. My son's girlfriend tried the Guinness. She hates it. Which is not surprising. In the least. Did I get rid of all of the sand? I may have. All right, we'll deal with that later. Or maybe we'll deal with it now. There. Okay, I think we just mine down this stuff now. You know what I have a hankering for is some Bellhaven Wee Heavy. So I think I'm going to go pick me up a 4-pack of that. Either later today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, because today is a very busy day. This weekend is going to be busy, but today we've got a lot of traveling on the road to do. Tomorrow only a little bit, but more than usual. We're trying to get the family ready for their trip. I tell you though, we love being able to fly directly out of Ontario now. It's so much better than LAX. Which again, you know, it's easy to complain about LAX, but the main problem with LAX is getting in and out of it. The airport itself is actually pretty good. I mean, once you're in there, getting through the process and everything, actually they're pretty good. But it's the accessibility is really bad. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, and we'll have to peel off one layer when we get down there, but not a problem. Yeah, that was always my dread dealing with LAX, is getting into it and getting out of it. But once you're inside, the process is good. And then coming through immigration is always good there too. It helps if you look like this, which it shouldn't, but it does. Okay, so we should be good here. Oh, villager is back. You can always suggest a baby Guinness, especially a shot containing coffee liquor with Bailey's on top. I like to keep those things separate myself, Sage, but yeah, like I don't mix anything with my Guinness. Nothing against people who do, I'm just saying. Like I won't even go as far as like a black and tan. Just sad for me, really. He's back. This is usually all sand or gravel, so I don't have to do this. But I guess we're in these parts now, so... This is my life now. Also, black and tan is traditionally not said in Ireland for historic reasons. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally an Irish-American thing. Fenians and all of that, right? Yeah, my Irish-American family and friends often forget that. They're like, I'm Irish. It's like, no, you're an Irish-American person. Remember that. Especially when you go over their place. Can you just kind of keep that in mind? Okay. But they must have come up with another name for it, right? Because it's a really popular drink. Right, Sage? So here's your chance to educate us. What do they call it over there, buddy? Fuck. Hands, please. Can you just... If you could just do the thing, that would be great. Now see, normally I'd use the sponge, but this isn't a big enough area to justify the sponge work here, so... Any water up here that we can use? Let me see. The next division is here, I think. I've heard half and half. But it's not something I've seen with any frequency. I mean, I suppose we could look it up, right? Yeah, I should leave this intact now that I think of it. And where's the gravel? All right, so this should go down to here. San, Su, right about here. Kind of like that. Okay, let me see. We'll deal with that like this. And that thusly. Right? Yeah, this is going slower than the other ones did. And it's because of the way the flooding is working with the mining. It's kind of working against me here. Usually this is just a chamber of water and I just go right on down it with the sponges, nearly right to the bottom. There's usually a little bit of mining to do, but not a lot. But here it's like a cross between, you know, there are pockets of water, pockets of material, right? It's annoying. 5, yeah. See, there's more water down there. Annoying! So it really slows things right down. How am I doing for time? 47. I actually don't have a lot of time right now. I had to see if I can finish this before the end of the stream. I mean, if I don't, it's not the end of the world, but... man's gotta have goals, you know what I mean? Where am I at right now? Some of that needs filling. Okay, so we can fill in that right to there. This can be... filled at least to here. We can section that off. That's technically the next section, so we're good there. This might be a good place to use a sponge. And just blah. And then we're done.
Spawn gay.
Hey there.
Hi.
How's the brain?
Better.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's amazing what, removing pressure on your colon does.
Oh God. Too much information, villager.
There's never too much information.
Oh, hey. You know what's cool for this? Hey, hold back.
Burnt rubber.
And then you don't have to deal with the slime balls in your inventory taking up space and stuff.
True.
Yeah.
It is
There.
nifty for that.
So how goes it?
I have come to be a nuisance and be productive. So
What, at
I
the
need
end of the
your
stream where I have
coordinates.
2 blocks left?
Yeah.
All right, well, you can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm just going to, I'm right at the end of this row.
Are you clearing everything in the cylinder down to that level?
Yeah, pretty much. Here's the strip I'm working on now. So I'm just doing these last couple of sections right to the wall here. So you could like jump ahead and do this one or this one if you want to. There might not be that much water there. I have plenty of sponges if you didn't bring any.
Oh, I don't have any. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, I'll put the sponge
blew
shulker
away.
right down there. And then, or, you know, you could just go start whacking out some of this stuff or whatever you want to do.
All the cylinder is going down to that level down there, though, right?
Yep, right down to level 0, the whole thing.
Okay. I shall assist.
Excellent. Let's see. Sponges and stuff should be right here. Where is that? Sand. Right, and there. I'll keep 1 stack on me. So, and then just the wet sponges right back in here afterwards. You're still within earshot over there, right? No, he's not. Let me get some more rockets. Box O rockets. There we go. No. Hands over there. There we go. Did he go for a swim?
Yes.
There you are. Okay, so
Yes.
you can see that green shulker down there by the incinerator?
Yeah.
Sponges are right in there.
Ah.
You can just drop off the wet sponges in there too, so I can dry them out afterwards.
Excellent.
I'm not keeping anything other than copper ore or diamonds, but anything that you pull out of here you can keep. If you want to purge your inventory and you don't have the flint and steel, the incinerator is right there. You can just load it up.
Most excellent.
Yeah, any demolition project needs a good incinerator.
This is true.
Yeah.
I usually have a pile on the floor.
All right, so let me see. What am I doing for time here? I have 7 minutes left of the stream. And then I have to go fetch
Watching it
Kachi.
done.
Yeah. I should be pretty good though. Let's see. Okay, if I do this right, that's a pretty big F. I can then just run right along this gravel and sand afterwards with the torches and the shovel and just collapse it all.
Yep.
But it does require
Easy
a
cleanup.
little forethought. All like controlling that flow right there and just doing it section by section. There. Okay. Just keeping that wall intact so it doesn't wash the torches away. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is why I'm not too worried about doing the underwater base thing. It's a lot harder to clear out water than it is to fill it.
Yeah, you know, if you get that filling system, you know, that procedure down right, it makes it a little easier, but there's so many weird things that happen with that, right?
Yeah.
The way that the blocks
All in all,
pool
it's water.
together to make the source blocks, it can be real annoying.
It's rules and regulations, that's all.
Rules and regulations. All right, so how are we doing here? I think I will... Okay, this I think I can just fill. And we probably won't have to do too much sponginess in here. Maybe.
There is a decent sized pocket just below that.
Yeah, I got some sponges. I can wipe that thing right out. I don't know. I think we fill this.
I can fill that in. Yeah.
Yeah. Why bother, right?
There's another one. There's another one further back. But... Oh,
Okay.
where's my trident? Lost it.
Okay, there it is. Blasting that out. Okay, we got this. If the stream goes over a couple minutes, that's fine. But I am pretty anxious to go fetch Kachi, though.
Oh yeah.
Last day of school.
Best day of school.
You know what, since most of the water is drained out of this, likely, maybe it is. We'll find out one way or another. I think I'm just going to collapse these sand columns.
Yeah.
And oh, we got a little bit of water there. No
yeah,
biggie.
filled it in already.
No biggie. Okay, let me get caught up here. Let me see. I've seen more folks order baby Guinness than ordering a Guinness mixed with anything. So baby Guinness, is that the 8-ounce one? I think there, Sage. Okay.
Yeah, this is the part that I don't look forward to if I do the lake.
Yeah, you know, just dealing with the mining or the water isn't too bad. It's when you get situations like this where it's the mixture of both, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying the deep slate specifically.
Yeah.
I hate the deep slate part.
Yeah, no Instamine. Oh, hey, well, speaking of that kind of thing, rewards for events.
Oh, ideas?
Yeah, something you guys have already done once or twice, but would be cool if it were more a regular thing, is the occasional overpowered tool or weapon.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
a cool thing because, you know,
I love those.
you earn it. It's super special. It adds some danger to the game because you don't want to lose it, right? It's...
Yeah. Most people just hide them.
Yeah. Put it in an item frame up in their house. But I think those things are cool, like a bow that has both mending and infinity on it.
Yeah.
That's
we got
cool.
those with the lucky block. We got
Yeah.
those. We got the OP bow.
Right. So I think those kind of gifts are cool, right? When you complete a
Yeah.
and it's something like Lucky Block too, where it's random, so the chances are low, right? So you don't just automatically get it if you compete an event, right?
So, little secret that I don't know if people have picked up, like everybody's picked up on yet. In a good handful of the dungeons now, there have been hidden rooms that are not part of getting through the dungeon. So, like, say during the jungle temple, there was a room that had a lot of really cool stuff in there.
Talk.
And nobody figured out how to get in there. The door opened several times, but nobody ever saw it. It was fairly well hidden. And obviously it's kind of, you kind of can't go back unless you wanted to, but that whole thing would have to get reset to go find that again.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the idea. It started with the mine over in Echo Point.
Yeah.
There was one in that people, I think one side found and one side didn't. And that just had something special in it. I don't remember what it was. But Nova had hidden something special in there. And I've tried to do that a couple of times. Yeah. I've just been trying to think of different ones to add, right? Like fun things to add that maybe aren't like you carry this all the time, right? This isn't your daily carry.
Yeah.
But if like, say, you're going up against, I don't know, a boss fight or something like that, and you're like, I have this really overpowered yada yada. I'm gonna bring that thing, and like I've got a god apple that's a super god apple type of thing.
Yeah, I think like prizes, event prizes like that, rare ones for tools, weapons, things like that. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And then you have the pride of carrying that around and for the rest of the season, right?
Yes. I want to see. I should look into this. We want to try and do, or we talked about it. I don't know if we were trying to do it. I'm going to look into it. Is instead of it being functional items, it's more cosmetic stuff. Like the tiny gas would have tiny horses reward.
That would wait. I think we're skimming over. We're swiping past the visual of the tiny horse.
Oh no! It immediately went in my head of the tiny horse.
Yeah. We got to slow down and viewers, just picture that for a minute.
Yeah. Like the little
horse the size of a dog,
horse.
But you can still ride it, and it still has the same speed.
Yeah. The visual is the whole point.
Of course, yeah. That's what I want to accentuate there. Sage. The visual is the whole point. Yeah.
So one thing we were looking into and that we haven't messed with, because I think Nova's expecting me to go into it, which I keep putting off. But there's a mod. Actually, no, we have the mod installed, but we can add to that with resource packs, or additional mods that we can create pretty easily. Where it gives, if you watch Hermitcraft, like custom armor pieces, where they have a custom model. So like, I could give you a diamond helmet that looks like a construction worker's hard hat. Or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And so one of the ones that I keep thinking of, and that's the one that's going to get me motivated to do it, is I want to create a reskin of the Ghast, the Happy Ghast, except it's Eggman's little flying weird space car thing.
Yeah.
I want to do that for the Happy Ghast, where you basically just rename it and it'll reskin the Ghast with a new model and have it sized correctly so everybody actually sits in the thing and all that.
I'm wondering, like, if each of the buffoons should have a themed thing like that.
That would be the idea to a degree, is that, like, you have, I don't know, we give you a custom chest piece that doesn't actually have a chest piece. It's just like a lightning-y animated hand.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or custom tools that you can name your tool a certain name and it would give them a little lightning effect.
Yeah.
Something like that. But the idea is to, like, instead of getting just purely functional things, because Minecraft's pretty limited into what, like, if I give you an OP bow, yeah, you're going to use it, but it's not really impacting the game.
Yeah, because only one person has it. You can't get multiple of them. And
Yeah.
actually, you probably don't want to use it that often because if you die, you lose it, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you have something cosmetic that you can easily recreate,
Yeah, that
that's
doesn't
the
affect
kind
the
of the
game.
idea.
Yeah, that doesn't
It doesn't
affect the
affect
game
the
at all.
game. Well, and it's not about I'm worried about affecting the game. It's that the game doesn't really have much to play with in standard survival mode. You
Yeah.
don't like if I give you a bow that has power 20, you're gonna go, man, this kills everything. You're gonna go kill a warden one time, and then you're gonna be like, well, I have that now. It's gonna sit on the wall, or I'm just gonna use it to one tap everything. You're already pretty OP with just regular items. So giving people something a little more than just a one-off dopamine hit is a little more valuable than giving them something that actually functions.
Yeah.
Because you're already at the peak of what you can do with Minecraft, pretty much. Obviously, there's exceptions where, like, the crossbow is an example of, like, nobody uses the crossbow, so I give them a reason to use it. Or nobody uses horses, so I give them a silly reason to use it, even if it's not practical. Right? That type of stuff is fun. Taking the Happy Gas, for instance. Upgrading it is different than giving it, I don't know, the ability to shoot fireballs. Who cares if it shoots fireballs?
Yeah, I mentioned it because when you were talking about the deep slate, and I was thinking, like an overpowered pickaxe would be cool for that, right?
I maybe have toyed around with that. Maybe you've toyed around with giving somebody an efficiency 7 pickaxe.
Yeah, something like that, right?
That you'd have to earn that one. You'd really have to earn that one.
Right, and that would be like maybe a lucky block thing, right? Where the chance of getting it is really slim, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna purge my inventory real quick. Get a few things out. But yeah, just having that level of interaction with the game that you don't normally get, so that it's not just like the superpowered pickaxe. I don't have a problem with it. Just be having the right means and motivations to do it.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like it has to make sense to a degree to have it, or to have it given to somebody, right? So that's kind of the stuff that I play with. But doing things like a lot of it's what I'd be kind of disappointed with in the game, like crossbows. For me, that's a little behind the curtain thing that Nova doesn't like me talking about. But
yeah, like I'm a little
motivation for
disappointed
it.
with the tridents. I think the trident could do a
have
lot more
toyed
damage.
around. I have toyed around with the trident, brainstorming ideas for the trident. If I find something, you'll know.
Yeah,
If I
good.
Because
That's my gripe.
tridents are one of my favorite things. That's just missing that little cherry on top to make it perfect.
Yeah, and you know what? To make it more powerful, you can do that really late game. Like it's quite a path to go through to get to that level of it. But it would be nice.
If I find a way to do it that isn't like just immediately like, yeah, throw the old tridents away, or just making a super trident. I want to make it something special, right? Something that either is hard to get, so if you lose it, you're like, oh crap, I lost my trident. I've got to go through, I don't know, a whole dungeon to go get a new one.
Yeah.
Or something like that, just spitballing. That's not exactly what I would do, but
yeah,
I want to do something to where maybe it's not damage. Maybe it gives you the ability to summon lightning during any rainstorm, or it gives you the ability to summon lightning anytime. Trident to summon fish. The Aquaman trident.
Trident that banishes the wandering trader would be kind of cool.
Oh yes, there's no practical use to that. It just freaking banishes him to the Shadow Realm. Doesn't damage him or anything. You just get
up
the
to the
noise
Shadow
and
Realm with you, Jimbo. Yeah, you just throw it at the ground. It sticks in the ground. There's a flash and a smoldering crater where he used to be.
Yeah. You just summon Smite on him. Just 4 lightning bolts at the same time, just on him.
It just buries them in raw cod there, huh, Foolish?
Yeah.
Huh, Sage?
Oh, or one giant, like size 1000 cod. Just slam. Makes
Slam!
contact with the player, dies instantly, and it kills the player.
All right. Hey,
That'd be really good.
this is fun, but I got to end the stream here.
Yes.
Off to go fetch Kachi.
You'll be happy to hear that has been in my brain. So.
All right.
When
All right,
something fun
Buffoons,
comes up
viewers,
in my
we got a
brain, you'll
little
get it.
brainstorming here from the devs.
Oh yeah.
All righty. I'm going to log off.
Facilitators, not a dev. I'm just an indentured servant.
Right.
Right.
Okay, I'm out of here. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for dropping by. Okay. Let us set up a raid, and I see, first of all, there is the raid message up above. You can copy and paste that into the chat if you'd like to join us along on this raid. And I see that Call Me Eve Gaming, fellow buffoon, she is streaming right now. We haven't raided her in ages and ages and ages. So let us do that. And let's see, let's set up the raid itself. And that is / raid. Call Me Eve Gaming. No spaces in between those words there, Thunder. There we go. And let's see. That should go through. And yes, the raid is now counting down for Call Me Eve Gaming, fellow buffoon, family-friendly viewers. Just be advised that the stream is intended for mature audiences. And, there's actually quite a bit of language in there and shenanigans. But, Eve is super cool. She's a lot of fun. We have a lot of shared community with the buffoons and stuff in there. So chances are there are people there, So just remember, everyone, that we do this Buffooncraft SMP stream every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will either be so much Dutch, indeed. That will either be Kachi time if Kachi feels like streaming, or if he doesn't, I may do a generation stream for that day. We'll see. And then the stream after that should be Wednesday. We should be back to another generation stream. And I'm not sure if that'll be Baby Zombie Rush or it'll be the Survival 5 World. It depends on what happens on Sunday. So that stream is usually from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me this morning. It was a lot of fun. This was a fun stream. I really liked it. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you happen to be. We are raiding out to Eve right now. Bye for now, everyone.